might start with an interesting story that I discovered. It's about a man named Thomas Hobson. Thomas Hobson, living in the time of Queen Elizabeth I, living in Cambridge, and I guess he ran a stable, which some of you might do, or a riding school, or whatever. And when the customers came to him to hire a horse, he would take them into the stable. And he would tell them that they had to take the horse standing nearest the stable door. That one's yours. And he did this because, for him, it ensured that each customer had an equal chance of hiring a good or a bad ride. And each horse had an equal chance of having a good or a bad rider. And this became known as Hobson's choice. So you know this. It's lovely. Meaning a situation in which one has a choice of taking what is offered or taking nothing. And my idea here is that we have decided, all of us in this room as volunteers, to take what is offered, which is to be part of this organization, and a very, very important part, whether you're a committee member or you're standing in the rain running an event, or a trustee. Trustees come in all the same shapes and sizes that everybody else does. And just like everyone in this room, we come from all walks of life. Mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, engineers, solicitors, civil servants, teachers. For me, a business career in sales and marketing. We just want to be part of this organization and bring something to it, bring our expertise to it. It's entirely appropriate that trustees are listed on the website under the volunteer section. Actually, I thought it was really brilliant. We come about 4 or 5 bullet points down. We're hardly at the top. I thought that was wonderful. And some of the characteristics that the BHS wants from all of us as volunteers, all of us in this room, to comply with the policies of the BHS. We're not all ever going to agree on everything. That is not possible. See this little thing? Not everybody agrees with it. But it is our responsibility to comply with it because broadly it was selected by the BHS as our new position in the world. Enhancing our reputation, all of us really want to be very good ambassadors for the BHS wherever we are. And I've been to so many things, and that happens day in and day out. Dedicated people. Supporting events, a vital aspect of our work in sunshine or in rain. And taking initiative. I think this is absolutely critical for a volunteer. To everyone in this room, without exception, has had great ideas, continues to have great ideas, without exception, seriously. It's a matter of getting those ideas through the system, making sure that everyone pays attention to these ideas so that the best of them can be actually implemented. No one knows better than you do what it takes to make a great British Horse Society. So, as Graham said, I've had a chance now to work a bit more closely in my area of expertise. So I work with Emma, who has wisely decided not to be in the room. But I work with Emma on sales and marketing, and we have some very ambitious plans for growth that were presented at the last board meeting. And we're going to get there. Yeah, we're going to get there. Someday we will have, within the next, hopefully, few years, we want to have 250,000 members. Yeah? Can you imagine? Yeah? We have, by any calculations, we have 4.5 million riders of one sort or another in this country. Yeah? And by any calculations, there are 15 million people who profess to love the horse. So, to get 250,000 out of such a large group of people, we can do that. We can do that. And when we do it, all of you who are involved with access and welfare will have a much more powerful voice. And all of you who run events and enjoy the fact that, you know, the more people that show up, the better the event. So we have interesting plans for making these types of things happen. So, trustees are volunteers. We give our time and expertise for the exact same reason that you give your time and expertise. There's only one reason. Everyone in this room just absolutely loves the horse. Yeah? And that is the reason why we're all here. So, we're here to celebrate all of us, including the trustees, including our chairman, including all of us who volunteer. I see a couple of other trustees. And I just am so proud to be part of this organization as a volunteer. So thank you very much.
Trustees are board of directors of the BHS. We are unpaid, we are volunteers. 2/3 of us are elected, and that generally covers all the activities, the welfare, the riding clubs, the access, safety. The other third are co-opted with the finance, marketing, some of the regions. And so we all work as a pretty good team. We debate, we discuss, we decide. We don't bang the table, although I think one member of the riding club wants to bang the table in my presence. And we then decide what we want to do, and we tell Graham to do it. Graham will have staff. Graham carries out our duties. And we don't have anything to do with the staff at all. The staff are Graham's responsibility. And that's as a trustee. As an access volunteer, I do interfere with the staff and ask them to help us in all sorts of ways, and they do, and they're very good. But that's nothing to do with being a trustee. Being a trustee is, I'm forced into being a trustee at an Arawak meeting, because we suddenly realised that the trustees that had an access bent were all about to finish their term, so we had to have an access person on the board, just in case we got ignored. Since I was on the board, I've learned what a lovely time it is. I've had interesting conversations. One of the co-opted trustees who's got a business and finance acumen had a long conversation with me about fallen stock. And I'm used to being in the financial world with my family, and I couldn't really understand it. He kept talking about dead sheep. Meet all sorts of people in the trustee area. I was involved in doing the health benefits for riding, and one of the other trustees, Christine Casey, sent me a link to a paper that had been written by some people that was relevant. So I looked at the paper and checked the authors, one of whom is here today. So at the bottom of this website was this little pony for sale. So I took another ex-trustee, Stephanie Wheeler, up, and we looked at this pony. It was fine, but didn't really trust my own judgment. And the riding clubs then came into play, because this little pony was taken to the Gower Riding Club, where he was taught by Patrick Print, another trustee. I then called Patrick Print and said, "You know anything about this horse? And you must have a very good memory for horses," because he said, "Yes, he'll do you fine. He's absolutely straight up and honest. So's his owner. Perfect. He'll never win a race. Fine. He's super." So, thank you, Jenny. He's a great little pony, and I'm very pleased with him. I didn't get what I wanted out of the trusteeship, that I expected out of the trusteeship, but I got a lot more. We've had great fun, and I appreciate it all. So the trustees do quite a lot for the society, unpaid, but not very many of us. Staff do a lot. They aren't paid, but unless we're particularly involved, we don't know what we do. And the volunteers, who are the mainstay. Now, I've written this out because I don't actually want to ignore any of it, so bear with me, please, if I read this bit. Well, I became a volunteer when I met Stephanie Wheeler, who some of you will know, because there are no bridleways in my part of Somerset, and she has inspired a lot of us. And so BHS owes a debt to Stephanie for bringing me in. From the trustees' point of view, the volunteers are the most important part. Without the effort, we would be nowhere. The Trustees are professional and we give all so much time. Trustees prize the workforce, and because of that, current corporate plan is to invest more into our trustees, into our volunteers. Trustees will get it. We would like to lighten the load on the volunteers. The load will not lighten, it has been dumped on more from above. So in order to lighten the load, we need more volunteers. And all of you have so much expertise and professionalism and contacts, it doesn't happen overnight. And my suggestion is that we find a small role for a volunteer. A volunteer that will just look after 3 or 4 parishes, look out for a horse in trouble or a paddock with the wrong fencing or ragwork, and just pass that communication on. It's only a small ask just to look in a few parishes, but it lightens the load on the people higher up the chain. Likewise, if someone wants to be an access volunteer, check if there's a bridleway block. If horses are riding on footpaths, great, it's probably got higher rights. Tell us, we'll investigate, we'll apply, have it made into a bridleway on the definitive map. So somebody just locally can tell us so much. Somebody who might want to volunteer at events. We've heard from Sarah how valuable it would be, and I've heard out in various committees that there is always a shortage of sensible, willing volunteers, and yes, they are long days, but they're much appreciated. Volunteers may not necessarily have their own horse, but they would know an area, which is great. A year ago, the Access Department advertised for mapping volunteers. These are not necessarily members of the British Horse Society. They may not even ride. All we ask is they tell us where horses are being ridden. Again, that may not be on definitive routes. If it's on definitive routes, then we'll publish it in the magazine. If it's not, we'll check out what the routes are. They may be permissive, there may be background information, but we're building up a database of where horses are being ridden. And one day, maybe these mapping volunteers will take the training, sign the terms of reference, and become access officers. We want to give as much training as we can, and in the Access Department, it's more courses, longer courses, whatever is needed anywhere in the country. We will try and supply the courses to educate the volunteers and just increase the respect that you already have with other user groups and government agencies. Not all user groups train their volunteers, not all of them have signed terms of reference. We do, and we're acknowledged as being professionals in our field. Now, I'm very much aware that working alone can be stressful, and I feel very sorry for some of the welfare officers who have some horrible jobs to do. So don't be stressed. It doesn't do you any good, it doesn't do us any good, it doesn't do your families any good. We don't want anybody stressed. Break a pencil like that, be stressed. Work together with your other volunteers, with your people in the next district, whatever you want. Band together, and you can't be broken. This doesn't happen. Just be strong, use each other, even boring jobs, cataloguing in a record office. If you go there alone and there's something funny to read, you laugh and it's considered weird. You go to 2 or 3 others and you read the file that says, this guy's incapable because he's drunk cider for too long, or this tenant cannot drink cider, these are Somerset records, or this farmer's going to build a road up his neighbour's backside. You can't do that alone. So please work together. We will support you all we can. And I think that's really what I want to say. Play together, ride together. Riding clubs do well together. They're very raucous when they get in a group together. The affiliated bridleways work well together. Long distance rides, fun rides, trying to establish more routes, they work together. So you're all as much part of BHS as the trustees are, and you will be there a lot longer than the trustees will, which I think is probably a good time for them to stop. Thank you for coming, and thank you all